or what you guys might just need. So for forward rolls, can you stand up here? I always teach rolls and such on top of the mat. I don't teach it from the floor to the cheese mat.
Thank you, Diamond.
And they have to jump and then think about it.
Trade me spots.
Well,
thank you.
for floor purposes, on the cheese mat is good because they're going to do it on the floor. They're not going to go from the floor to something else. For vaulting, that's a good one for vaulting and front tucks, but that's a different skill.
Yeah, but for like preschool, I have them stand on top of the cheese even after they're trampling.
Yeah. No, playing around with it every once in a while is fine, but make sure you're very diligent on what you're teaching. So we're doing forward rolls. So try to cover, just make them comfortable with doing a roll first. Ready, go. Ta-da. Okay, so once they understand like the flow of a roll, come back. Can you do it where I call it granny push. If you're a grandma, you push yourself up. Do a granny push. Where you gotta like push yourself up. Okay, so that means you touch the ground 2 times. How many times should you touch the ground? 1 time. Okay. So walk them through it. Like, okay, ready, go. Freeze. That's your 1 time. Now do your roll. And then they'll eventually get it. And then if that's too easy, but the floor is too hard, you can make them start halfway down the cheese. So they use more of the floor to stand up. Just do that with guys.
I also have them stand up and give me a high five so that they have their arms up.
Oh wait, hold on, stop. Ready? That's a good one.
If you guys are teaching forward rolls, sorry to interrupt, and they've never done forward rolls at all, especially with the chimpanzees class, Abby taught me to kind of teach the kids, like, okay, stand here, high five the floor, and like look at your belly button and go on your tippy toes, and then kind of poke them.
Just basically tell the body position, so if Katie comes here, you're like, stand on the mat right here, please. And then you're like, put your hands on the floor.
High five the floor.
Look at your belly button.
Tippy
Put your
toes.
head to the floor is what I say instead, and then they just kind of have to go over.
And also you can like show them like,
And that's the way to get them to do it without touching.
when you're doing a forward roll, the top of your head shouldn't touch the floor. That's why they look for the belly button, because that tucks their chin. So you can literally say like, okay, the first part of you that should touch the floor is right here. Then it goes down here. This should not touch the floor.
Because then it ends up looking like this, where they're like, and like, they like, top of their head, and then they just like flop over it. Kind of knocks the wind out of you. You don't really roll at all.
Sorry, Haley.
That they don't go down like this when you say touch the floor though, because then they'll just always do their forward rolls like this, and you kind of want them in a pike, honestly.
Yes and no. I agree with that. If you're teaching the right shape. So which one are we doing right now? A tuck forward roll. So your knees should be bent the whole time. If you're teaching it from a pike, that's good for teaching it a pike forward roll. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So another phrase I do, I say tickle the stars. Now tickle your toes and roll. That's another one. And then tickle the stars again. Tickle the stars.
Kevin really wants you guys to put a lot of magic in terms of like, especially with the preschoolers. So that's like when she's saying like tickle the stars, like in their
I know what that means.
Yeah, or and like how I say like, okay, high five like the blue. Like, is blue your favorite color? High five blue. Go on your tippy toes. Like, look at your belly button.
Really use the imagination. Like when I'm stretching them, I'll be like, I'm gonna reach up to the sky and grab the sun and pull it down.
And then I spotted, just like how I spotted the skin the cat over there. So I put my hand by their neck, but it's enough to like, I spread my hand out like this so I can push their neck down, and then I put my hand on their belly, and then I just pull them over. And then that hand that's on their neck is just to help them sit up, because that's a big problem, because they can't sit up.
Yeah, well, you guys missed yesterday when they were talking about forward rolls, or just I think it was forward rolls specifically, how when you guys like land it, they shouldn't be pushing up off the floor, and they should be just coming straight up onto their feet.
We went over testing a little bit and just goes for everything. Do not ever say or even think that the child has a forward roll.
Okay, hang on. Are you guys going to be here for next week? Like Wednesday and Thursday? Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that then. Let's focus on what we're doing right now. Can you two come here and spot this really fast? So you can either do my method, so you both can go at the same time. So put this hand on here, and then kind of just come through, and then just push them over. Another way to do it.
And then when she
is-
came up, you can help guide like what she said with her hand.
Another way, don't be afraid to get on the mat either. Go down. Is by their hips, and then just literally just drag them over to you.
And high five.
No,